I'm Danielle Cherowick with The Headroom, and I am here with Darla. Darla just had her hair done by our stylist, Karen Leffley, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the process. So, welcome, Darla. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So before we start, I just wanted to talk about, for those of you that don't know, Darla is a member of our team, and she's been with our company for like 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. And I'll never forget our interview. Do you remember?
Yep.
So we had the interview, and when it was done, I asked Darla, do you have any other questions for me? Or, is there anything else you want to tell me? And she kind of got really wide-eyed, and she said, I just want to give full disclosure that I wear a wig. And I don't have hair. I have hair loss, alopecia. And I thought, she's like, so?
You were like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was actually really cool because then it's really relatable for clients. And that's kind of where hair loss started for our company, or hair loss extension started in our company, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So, Darla, what kind of hair loss do you have?
I have a type of alopecia. There's many different types of alopecia that you can get, but mine is the type where it will cause your hair to thin like a man would. Yeah.
Okay. And so, how old were you when you were diagnosed, or when you started to notice that your hair was thinning?
I was in high school. Like the first time I noticed my hair going thin, I was probably grade 11, almost graduated, and I noticed it was getting very, very thin. But then as the years went by, it got worse and worse. Yeah.
And so at what point in that did you start to seek like a solution for hair loss?
I was probably late 20s, mid 20s, and I did some research. I really didn't know why. I felt like I was the only one. Like you experience hair loss, and I didn't know who to talk to it about. I didn't know who to reach out to. So I did some research, and I did Dr. Google, yep. And I tried a bunch of different things.
So what were some of the things, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
Yeah, I did laser. So they actually would go in and put you under a big round thing, and it was a laser light. I did that. It was quite expensive.
Would you mind sharing?
It was probably I want to say it was probably close to $4,500.
Okay. Yeah. And that was for a single treatment, or you had to go multiple treatments?
That was for about a year's worth of treatment, really, I think.
So after the laser hair treatments, what else did you try?
I tried different, what do you call them? Serums, I guess, that promote that they're going to stimulate and regrow the hair. A bunch of those. I've tried different vitamin mixes that also do the same thing.
And what were your results from any of those? Like,
it did not work at all.
Like
None
zero?
of them.
Okay.
Zero results on any of it. Yeah.
Okay, because this was all before you started with us. When you started with us, you were just wearing wigs?
I was wearing wigs. I wore wigs for about, I want to say 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
And like for me, I always kind of thought that was pretty cool, and not to be like ignorant of,
right,
because it wasn't that cool. Like, what was that like?
At first it was good because obviously I did invest in some pretty good wigs. It wasn't wigs that were cheap from wherever. Like, they were good quality ones, and it did do the trick. Like, it made it look like I had a full head of hair, and you would never know, really, right? But they were really uncomfortable, especially summertime when it's getting really hot, and a little scary when you're out in the wind and it's blowing, because that might cause some embarrassment if that goes flying off your head. But it wasn't fun at all.
No. Yeah, no, not glamorous. And I
No.
mean, like for us, we were like, oh, we'll change your hair color today. But you really like to keep the same look consistently too, like not
I did.
changing it.
Yeah, because it kind of made me feel, for lack of a better term, normal in the hair department. You know, like it's not, everyone can't come into the salon and go from black to blonde overnight. You can't do that, right, with your natural hair. But with a wig, you definitely can. So that part was fun, but yeah.
Okay. So then why hair loss extensions? When did you, because you were actually the one who told us about them.
Yeah.
So how did you learn about them and why did you think that that was what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so I was here working and we were talking about hair extensions, and I was always online looking for a solution to hair loss.
Yeah.
And I came across hair loss solution for extension, and I remember showing it to you guys and you were like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So you did.
So we did. Well, we have just one stylist that's doing it right now, which is Karen, which is my mom. And she was really excited about that because I think that she just, to hear how it touches you and the same, like there's women and men out there who are really affected. I think the statistics blew me away when I started looking at them with you. And I think it's 1 in every 5 people will suffer from a form of alopecia.
Yeah.
Like that's like 20% of our society. So there's definitely a big need for it. And to have a solution that's, you know, all those ones that you mentioned were just not feasible or giving you the results that you wanted.
Right.
So how do you like these extensions?
I love it. Love it. It's quite different than wearing a wig, that's for sure. A lot more freedom in that way. It makes you, like I said, for lack of a better term, it makes you feel more normal, especially when you've dealt with hair loss for so long. Like, I mean, I started in high school, I started thinning, like, you know, and I felt like I was the only one. I didn't know about anyone else going through what I was going through, especially at my age. Like, you know, you hear about the older ladies and they have thin hair, but I was a teenager and it started happening to me, right? So when we did this for the first time, I was in awe. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like I can get in the shower and wash my hair like a normal person would. You know, I can go swimming and not have to worry about taking a wig off or anyone noticing the simple things, like going to a movie theater and sitting down lower and having people look and you just feel uncomfortable because you're like, oh, they're looking at my thinning hair, like, you know. Yeah, so this way better than a wig. That's for sure. Yeah.
Is it comfortable? Like, how is the maintenance on it? Can you share a little bit about that?
It is comfortable. So they are beaded in with little beads. They do, I mean, you do feel them, I'm not gonna lie, you do feel the beads in your hair, but after a couple of days, when it starts to grow out a little bit and get a little looser, you don't really notice it at all.
And how often do we do touch-ups for you? How often do you and Karen do that?
We do it about, I think it all depends too on the person and how fast their natural hair is going to grow.
Okay.
For me, I do it about once a month.
Once a month. And so how long does a touch-up take?
Not long. Again, depending on how many you have in your head. For me, I have the full one going around and then a couple of rows in the back. Probably anywhere from about half hour, 40 minutes max. Yeah.
And so, the full closure piece, the life on that, we've replaced it for you about once a year.
Yeah.
That's about, so a 1 year life, and it's ready then.
Yes.
That's, like, it's been ready at that 1 year mark.
Yeah.
And then that is like the full removal and cleanse, or do you do a full removal in between there?
We do. So we take it off I believe they recommend every 3 to 4 months to fully remove it and give your scalp a good wash and treatment, and then reset and put everything back on again, and then just do your regular touch-ups for another 3 to 4 months.
Awesome. All right. So If you could share any information on hair loss with someone who is just at that starting age, so like with you at that teenager, like if you could be that person that they could reach out to, like what advice would you give?
I guess what I would say is you're not alone, because I felt like I was for a long time. Like I said, I was a teenager. I was so young. I started losing my hair. I didn't even want to talk to my doctor about it. Like it's just, to me, it was very personal. It was, I was a woman. Like women love to get their hair done. They love to express themselves through their hair. And I love that even more than the average one, I guess. I'm a makeup artist. I like to change up my look a lot.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that before. So yeah, I would say know that you're not alone, that you're not the only one going through hair loss. It's not your fault. It's nothing that you did. And embrace it and call the headroom. They'll hook you up.
We will. So generally at this point, we would ask that, our viewers could share or ask questions in the comments, and you're more than welcome to do that. But we're also going to tag Darla's professional Instagram on here. So if people want to ask private messages to Darla or to us, you guys can private message us, of course, too. But if you have questions directly for Darla, you can feel free to open that or to message her. She's opened that up to you. So thank you. As I know that when we first started talking about sharing this, it was a little bit...
It was very nerve-wracking. It's always been a personal thing for me. It's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, like I said, it takes away from, what's the word I'm looking for? From being a woman and experiencing that. Like going to a salon for me, I never did it because I was so scared, I had thin hair. I didn't want anyone to see me. I didn't want to have go in public and sit down in a salon with wet hair. It's already thin. I'm so young. But yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, really, you got that courage. You got that courage when you even came and applied with us, which we're so happy that you did. And now to come on camera and be sharing and, to be making a difference in so many lives here in Grand Prairie. We're really grateful for you. So
yeah, absolutely. You're welcome.
And again, if you have any questions, we're going to share her stuff, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Darla.